Welcome to the girls. On today's show, we're going to be very sociable, aren't we, Dee?
Yes, we are. And what motivates you? Is it money or passion?
About what?
Well, what motivates you to go to work? We're going to talk about it today.
Alrighty.
But first,
talking about
what's up?
What's up? It's the what's up section.
You know,
Yeah, what's up with you? I haven't seen you all week. What's going on?
oh my gosh. Well, you know, I always get that urge to clean out my house. As you know, I'm not a hoarder or a collector of anything.
No, God forbid,
You know,
there should be a knick-knack.
Right. Everything has to be in its place. So I decided to do some spring cleaning. And as you can see from the photo, I just went into my walk-in closet, got rid of all of my, just tore out all my boots and all my shoes. And you don't realize how many boots and flip-flops you have until they're actually outside of the closet. I had like 50 pairs of flip-flops.
Are you bragging or complaining?
No,
now?
really. Like I threw most of them out. They weren't even able to like give to someone.
Well, do you have these like from when you were in 8th grade or
Yes, because I've had the same size shoe. Or Alyssa has stolen some of my shoes because she's older now. But that and realizing how harsh the winter was, I ruined a lot of boots.
Well, yeah, with the ice, the sleet, the snow, the salt.
That means we get to go shopping.
Yeah, well, we don't need a reason to go shopping. Speaking of which, your spring house cleaning, so I decided I'm going to spring house clean my bedroom. Got a brand new, beautiful quilt. I got an ivory quilt. My dog, as you know, Gucci, sleeps in bed with us. So he's going to be, yeah, he's a king. So he's going to be 4, and he's all over that puppy stuff. So he's a big boy now. He doesn't get up and go to the bathroom during the night. He's a big boy. So I put the new bedspread on, and of course, doesn't he get sick during the night? The same night Dad got sick. So
Are you sure it
needless
wasn't
to
Dad?
say, no, he just got upset because Dad got sick. So needless to say, out goes the new bedspread, and I'm gonna go shopping again and get another new bedspread.
So the moral of all these stories is we have to go shopping.
We have to go shopping.
That's what I think the story is.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll make a date.
All right, well, coming up, we have a very exciting guest, one of my dear friends, Michael Barata. He is a social change enthusiast. We're gonna find out what that is. We're gonna motivate you. We're gonna talk about passion. We're gonna talk about social change next, right here on The Girls. Welcome back to The Girls. We're here at the Dragonfly, and today, instead of having the coffee, I'm having the smoothie. They have some really nice, delicious drinks and also great food. We're here with Michael Barata. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
I know you are, and we're super excited to talk about what a social change enthusiast is, right?
Indeed.
Indeed.
People have questions about social change enthusiasts, and I think in the time of this age of branding, personal branding, I kind of took that into consideration, but then I really started to look at the things that I'm most passionate about. And there always seems to be a line of change through whatever it is that I'm doing, whether it be in teaching or workplace culture or just positive living and social media. So kind of came up with this social change enthusiast title, and that's what I've kind of been running with.
So you came up with that title yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that was very ingenious of you.
Well, I do try.
Now, what is your background, if I may ask?
Well, background is I am a psychology instructor, so I teach at Luzerne County Community College. No, I cannot read your minds, all right? So that's...
I can read your mind.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
We can read each other's minds.
I've seen it happen, actually. So I do have a psychology background. I also have a background in workplace culture change, being a lead facilitator on some projects. And I just always had this desire to find ways to improve or to make a difference, not just with myself, but kind of create these learning opportunities for everybody that I have an opportunity to work with and play with.
Well, that's so great, because in this world that's ever changing, we do need someone like you to sort of like steer the ship. You know what I mean? Because really, people don't know where to start with all the change. It's like, well, do I do this? Do I get myself, on Facebook? Do I do Twitter? How do I, so to combine everything and make sense of this new evolving society.
Yes.
We need you.
I appreciate that.
We need you.
I think the enthusiastic part, though, also changes the game around change. I think right now, when people think about change, it's a drag or it's a negative. And I don't think people necessarily have an issue with change. I think they have an issue with what it takes to actually create and sustain change. So at the end of the day, when people complain, they really want something to change.
Well, don't they fear it though? Isn't fear the biggest thing?
No doubt. I mean, fear,
Of the unknown.
being fear. But again, though, if I was to ask you what is going to happen tomorrow, nobody can really tell us. So having that fear of the unknown, again, is just another kind of an excuse for not really trying to identify what can we do to improve right now.
I know where you're coming from because I taught at McCann for 8 years, and it was a career development class underlining motivational speaking with Lou Tice, who is a motivational speaker. He recently passed away, but he was a motivational speaker. But again, what makes you get up in the morning? And everyone wants to be happy. There is no happy pill. There is no magic potion, and that's something that you teach.
I try to actually get people to spend a little bit more time with themselves. One of the 3 things I suggest to people is try to give yourself space, time, and attention to really find out who you are and to find out what really wakes you up. A lot of the time we kind of get swallowed up in all the noise of somebody telling you this is what you should do, this is how you should act, mom says I should go to college, my spouse thinks that I should take this job. And though the intentions may be well and good, at the end of the day, if you don't really have a good appreciation and understanding of really what wakes you up, what makes your heart beat, you're kind of always going to be falling short, I think, of really discovering what happiness means to you. So at the end of the day, I think the more that you can spend time with yourself, the better it's going to be. I'm not going to say it's easy. It doesn't happen overnight. In this society where we want to, drive through a drive-through and get a microwave handed to us so we can get things now, it doesn't work that way. Spend some time with yourself to figure out really what you enjoy doing. That's always my number one advice to everybody.
We have a very noisy world.
No doubt.
There is everything available to us, and there's something noisy going on all the time. So you find that meditation is part of that?
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I must say, I must give props to my best friend, Joseph Longo, who actually got me into yoga. And from yoga, though, I probably got away from the practice, but I got more into meditation. And meditation just allows, again, just for that quietness. It's not magic, but to be able to quiet the mind, quiet your surrounding, it provides clarity, and it provides answers sometimes as well. So yes, I agree with you 100%.
Simple reminders. All right, and if you read daily affirmations and you keep your mind active and reminding yourself, it's like anything, a routine, a habit, forms good transformation. Simple Reminders is something that you're involved with. What is Simple Reminders?
SimpleReminders.com, I could suggest that you just go out and really experience it for yourself. But at the end of the day, it is a platform. It's a network of inspiration and positivity to help people kind of navigate through life. And like we were talking about the noise, everybody endures challenges. But these are writings, these are ways to actually kind of give you another spin, another perspective on things. And I got involved with this. I got introduced to it through Joseph Longo, who's another point person in this. But
hi, Joe.
Great guy. He introduced me to both Bryant McGill and Jenny Young. They're the ones that are responsible for Simple Reminders. And just a quick story. Back in July of 2013, I was putting these quotes and affirmations together, and Jenny reached out to me and said, you really need a Facebook page for what you're doing. And so I put a Facebook page together in July of 2013, and since then I've become a Simple Reminders messenger. So they really bring my words to life. They put art behind my words, and now I'm also starting to do Simple Reminder videos for them. So regularly putting little vlogs together, speaking specifically to a Simple Reminder. So super excited.
So that can help with the meditation because it's a
No doubt.
phrase for the day. It's something you can concentrate on. You can carry it with you for the day.
Yes.
Have it be. Janine always has a theme for everything that she does, all her goals. So speaking of goals, how important are goals for people to have?
I love the question of goals and aspirations and dreams, and I think they're super duper important, but I think we will always kind of miss what our goal is if we don't first figure out, what do I want to do with this life? What am I really good at? What wakes me up? What am I enthusiastic about? And I think a lot of the times, and I could look at just my teaching, when students are first enrolling in school, they look at a college catalog and believe that that's it. And I think they miss the bigger picture of what really piques your interest. And maybe it's not necessarily in the catalog. You can still use your education to achieve things, but if you don't really know what your interests are, and when you're, no matter what your age is, you can have a billion interests.
Right.
But to kind of start to narrow that down and find out what your true passions are, that's what's going to help you, I think, identify your goals and aspire after them.
Well, how do you narrow them down?
I think that comes with experience. We're talking about this noisy world, and I don't mean experience in doing them, but experiences of what are you actually exposing yourself to. And I think a lot of the times when you look at different experiences, what that can actually mean, getting out of your comfort zone, right? Everybody says, you know, all achievement is on the opposite side of fear, right? So if you kind of just pad yourself in the familiar and the comfort, well, it's going to be difficult for you to really understand what your true potential is. So the internet can be a fascinating place to just discover all these magnificent possibilities. Education is a great way to bridge between your skills and your interests to actually achieving things. Talking to people, having opportunities like this, I think this is absolutely beautiful. It gives people an opportunity to hear new and different and fresh and exciting opportunities. But I think at the end of the day, the individual has to have that level of awareness of who I am and what I really want to achieve.
Going back to the positive thinking and those reminders, especially simple reminders, I love going on those, reading through those. Those affirmations, they help me. They're like routine to me. They help me with my day. Now, some people will say, well, you see rainbows and butterflies all the time because you're all, you know, there's nothing that happens in your life that's bad or negative. Right. And I really, to those people, I say it's not that bad things or negative things don't happen. It's your approach to the things that happen.
I love it.
And how you respond to those things.
And what you concentrate on and carry with you the rest of the day, because you could let that burden you and weigh you down.
No doubt.
Right. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has things in their lives that isn't perfect, and that's what we call life. It's how you handle it.
And
right?
it's
attitude.
I mean, I love it. And at the end of the day, it's really not the situation. It's your, like you said, it's your emotions and feelings about the situation. Once something happens, it's over. It's in the past, and there is no going back. So I mean, there's a great quote out there that if you're depressed, you're living in the past, and if you are anxious, you're living in the future. Be present right now. How can you affect this moment? Because it's really all you have at the end of the day.
All right, we are going to talk more with Michael Barata, again, social change enthusiast, maybe the only one in the country. He's with us on The Girls. When we come back, what drives you to go to work? Is it money or passion? We'll talk about that next.
Hey everyone, Michael Barata here. Thank you so much for making time to hear this short message for you today. I just want to let you know how passionate I am about creating learning opportunities. I also think collaboration is key to creating transformational change. I think when everyone gets involved, everyone benefits. I'm a psychology instructor at Luzerne County Community College. I also provide workplace culture change facilitations. I also do social media consulting, and I also keynote on a variety of topics from workplace culture change to social media to positive living. So here's to you and I hopefully getting together and making some awesomeness happen.
Welcome back. You're watching The Girls, and our special guest today is Mike Barata, a social change enthusiast. My claim to fame. And before we get on with more of that, I must tell you that our flowers are especially gorgeous this week. They're from Smith Floral, and they are Picasso calla lilies and Pink Floyd roses. I had to get that in there. But we are at the Dragonfly Cafe. We're enjoying some refreshments and chilling out and talking with you in a nice social atmosphere. So,
let's hear it, Michael.
Oh, there you go. We're going on the road. So your background in the workplace environment, tell us a little bit about that, how you developed this.
This is probably one of my bigger professional passions. When I used to work for the Bethel Mary School District, and it was in that time that I first got introduced to work-life balance. I'm sure people are familiar with work-life balance and what that means. So I kind of started to look into it, and the more that I dug into it, I then discovered the results-only work environment, or ROE is what it's called. And it's all about really having more freedom in the workplace. So the individual understanding what is expected of me and how I will be held to account. So from that, after I transitioned out of the Bethel Mary School District, I began to work for Culture RX, which is responsible for the results-only work environment. And I was the lead facilitator for 2 years, part of a federal work study on a resident care facility environment. So think of St. Luke's, think of Mountain City. And I went out to 15 different locations over 2 years to help individuals figure out ways to actually find more meaning in the work they were doing, but also to feel more fulfilled in their personal life. And a lot of the times, people tend to focus just on money. And I know you have a fascinating social media question about that. But when we dig deeper and you start to peel layers back, there's so much more that drives and motivates an employee. So that's what I started to focus on and started now to help other organizations focus on as well.
Well, don't they have to go hand in hand, though, because you can't as much as you may need money,
We're going to talk
you
about
have
it.
to go to work. But if you're going to work every single day, you just hate your job,
Right.
and
That's
you
why.
hate the people you work with. Not hate them, but you despise being in the environment. You put all that stress on yourself. I mean, isn't that time to really go outside that
And I like to
realm?
call those people Friday people, right? And I ask my students to do this when I do facilitations. Monday morning you can ask people like, hey, how you doing today? And they're like, is it Friday yet? And I'm just thinking to myself, my goodness, why would you want a life where you have to feel miserable for 5 days before you start to feel any kind of reward? And the only reward is a piece of paper. It's not the actual work that you're doing, or like you were saying, the relationships that you can build and nurture in terms of coworkers and colleagues. So
Is it what they take to work with them also sometimes?
Well,
Because
no.
sometimes they have a miserable home life, or maybe they come to work miserable and then it just carries through the whole day and they don't see the good that might be there around them.
And there's the two parts, right? And at the end of the day, your personal life, because we're humans, we are going to take that to work sometimes. Flip that though, your work day you take home with you sometimes. But if we think about what we talked about earlier, this is why I think it's so very important for people to truly find out and connect with what really brings what really brings life to you. Because when you have those hard days, but you're connected to it, it's like you have that positive mindset to figure out, how can I navigate through this and find the best solution, versus I guess I'll just have to wait till Friday and that's when I'll be happy. I mean, I think this is what managers, but also employees, in my experience, I think they both miss this. I think even owners, at the end of the day, the work should be what produces results. The work shouldn't be what somebody has to endure.
And
right?
it shouldn't be from a fear of.
Right. I mean,
should
again,
be
think
a
about what it
team
feels.
effort.
Think about what it feels like to run away from something versus to run towards something. Right. The mindset is different. So when you're really connected to something, even on those challenging days, you just have the mindset to kind of move forward. And this is the thing that I'm trying to help organizations and employees change, because some employees, like you said, are afraid to even say this isn't working for me because they're afraid they're going to lose their job.
And
right?
isn't it good also if you could run together?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, no doubt.
Work together as a team and run
Right.
together.
It's not about 100% for each one. It's how close can we get to making sense for everybody within this organization and really what we want to achieve.
And when you look at that work environment, no matter where you work, there's those different personalities. We've talked about this with other guests, with Dr. Sylvia, who has many books about the workplace, but every kind of personality in there. You might have the person who is enthusiastic. You might have another person who is the, oh, pity me. You might have the person who is the overachiever, the person, who runs late. So in a culmination of looking all of those different personalities, and you talk about like that work relationship, that's something I'm sure you talk about in your speeches.
Oh, no doubt. And then when you think about how technology is changing the game as well. I mean, again, a lot of people like to look at technology as making things more kind of impersonal. But at the end of the day, this is allowing people to achieve great things. Do you really, if you have a sales team, if you have a salesperson who's in their boxers eating their breakfast and closing $1 million deal, why in the world would you ever frown upon that? So at the end of the day, there are some people that need the office as a resource, but there are also people that can actually excel kind of in that free spirit way. Why not identify those individuals and then build the work environment or the work kind of picture around the individual, instead of just taking the blanket approach that everybody's going to respond to policies the same way.
Game changer right here. We are at work. You're roaming.
Smoothie, tea, life is good, right? So.
Right?
Exactly. I find also that because of Facebook and other social media facets that we have now, that you're able to keep in touch with people that you couldn't keep in touch with before. Just by the click of a button, you can speak with 25 people instead of one at a time.
Sure.
So it really uses your time well too.
And social media is it's kind of another big part of workplace culture and just life in general, because now, when employees have a negative experience, when they want to share that, you're talking about sharing it literally with the world now. So everybody should have some skin in the game with regard to what are you getting out of this experience? What can we do to improve it? And sometimes, as I tell employees and managers, sometimes the employee is just simply not a fit, or the organization is not a fit. So we need to have those types of discussions as well.
Doesn't it help your students also with social media to, when you said it opens up a
Pulling
world,
that up now.
because now they can see exactly what's out there in the world. Before,
No
if you
doubt.
lived in a little town, sometimes people would only think that's what the world was.
I love it.
And
yes.
so you never got to travel anywhere. If they weren't
Exactly.
fortunate enough to go on a vacation or anything, they had to just see things on TV and think, oh, well, that's just a movie.
Right.
But now through their Facebook and with the internet and with everything that they have available, my goodness, I mean, they could be anything they want to be.
And they could find the people that can actually help them to achieve it as well. They may not necessarily be here, but they might be anywhere else, so why not have that opportunity available to you?
Let's get to our our Facebook question, because we asked, what motivates you to go to work? Is it money or passion? And we had I was actually surprised that a lot more people didn't say money. I was expecting more people to say, I was pretty much split passion and money, or both. Some people left comments, passion, I love being a licensed massage therapist, love helping others. I see people every day in pain and I love seeing them smile through that.
I think one great point to make with regard to that too is, for some reason we have this belief that pursuing your dreams does not necessarily mean you can monetize it. And that's the thing we have to get away from. You can make money and do things that you really enjoy. They can actually go together.
And you're more successful when you're doing something that you love to do and that you're passionate about doing.
Right, especially if you have something great to offer.
And that could be different for
genuine.
everyone. I know people who go to work and they do the same job. Maybe they work in a factory and they do the same job every day and they love it. They get out of bed and they're excited and they go to work and that's what they love to do.
Right.
Other people are artists or, are social, well, maybe they're not social change enthusiasts, but they're like you and they speak and that's what they like to do.
We try to cover so much ground with all the information that you have, but what would you like to leave our viewers today? What kind of a message could you leave for them?
My message would be, stop doubting yourself. At the end of the day, the best advice that you could probably ever hear is listening to yourself, really asking yourself the questions that matter to you most. What I tell my students is, before you even enroll in college, enroll in yourself so you have a better understanding of who you are and what you want to do with your life.
All right, to get in touch with Michael, he does seminars. He is all over social media, correct?
That's correct. Please feel free, michaelbarata.com. From there, you can find me all over the place.
All right, simple reminders. And again, you're watching The Girls right here on SSP TV.